This week's story time with Jackie is the rivalry of Windy City versus Philly Roller Girls. So this is Derby in 2013. It was a very, very different time, as you can tell by the skating that you are seeing. There was hardly any backwards blocking. This game started off with a bang. Ying of Fire got 19 points right away. But Philly is going to answer back with Vanessa Site's v-diva. What was really interesting about this time in the history of both of these teams is Windy City had been on the up and up for years. There are actually several players on the team at this point that have been there like practically since the beginning. Some of them have been there since 2004. That's a really long time to be playing Derby. Like we've already talked about in the past, the average Derby career is about 3 years. Like from everything I've noticed, I've seen AK talk about that with Detroit Roller Derby. Bork talked about it with Windy City in particular. So there's a lot of people who've been on the team for a long time. Philly also had a lot of players who have been on the team for a long time, but this year was a year where there had been a lot more turnover. And so they were kind of figuring out their new roster a little bit. There were just some people who were missing that were usually there. Oh, I love that call off. Can we talk about these dresses for a second? The Liberty Bell dresses. This is such a throwback. Oh, I can tell that the fan's helping out that one there. Dresses used to be a thing, an option for your uniform. But Philly has a lot of really strong players this season. For jammers, they had, of course, Vanessa Site's v-diva, Devoid of Mercy, Antidote, Clam Jammer. For blockers, Teflon Donna, who could block or jam, as she ends up doing in this game. Tarantula, who later transferred to Rose City. Gingivitis still plays, but now she plays with her sister, who used to go by the name Herman Munster and now just goes by Herman. Right now, it's a really, really close score. And what was going on this season was, of course, like I said before, Windy City was on the up and up. They're climbing and climbing and climbing. They have all these veterans, and they're kind of starting to look unstoppable. They're expected to win this game. They are expected to win this game commandingly. That's not going to be what happens today. Philly was in a little bit of a rebuild, and we are at ECDX in this game, which is in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is hosting this game, and interestingly, what I learned from watching this again, watching it back, at this point in history in 2013, Philly had not won a game at ECDX. At the tournament they are hosting, Philly had not won a game here. But on the flip side, at this point in history, June 2013, Windy City had never beaten Philly. So for both of those reasons, this game is incredibly interesting.
But in addition, we're looking at a 4-on-2 pack advantage, Philly. So that could, 4-on-3. And now
look how easy it was to get a back block back then. It was just so much of an exchange of back blocks back and forth. Nowadays, the rule has changed quite a bit for how a back block will be called. But back then, if you looked at somebody and they fell down, you got a back block, just like Farla Vendetta did right there. All she did was show up and someone fell over. They even invented a rule to try and help with this, like a flopping rule, where they're like, oh, if you flop and try to get a back block called on the jammer, then you're going to get a penalty. Problem is, like, no one was ever called for that. And it was a really easy way to get your jammer out of the box. You're just like, oh no, I fell over. I'm not accusing anyone in this jam or on either of these teams. I'm just saying that this was a thing that was happening very often in roller derby.
Opportunity for them to use this passive offense here to get their jammer.
So easy for v-diva.
Point pass for Vanessa Sites.
So passive offense was very much the trend at this point in roller derby history. You just stood there and let your jammer score points. If you got involved, you were actually stretching out the pack and becoming a problem. Nowadays, jammers could use a little bit of help because blockers are a lot better at defense. There's a 20-point lead for Philly, who is the underdog in this game, the underdog in this tournament. Another one of those classic back blocks.
Quick power jam, Teflon Donna backing up saying, hey, wait.
This was ridiculous. I'm so glad we've changed the rule since then. Do you see Varla Vendetta just had to fall to the ground and then crawl off? This is what we had to do to avoid track cuts back then. If you got up and someone had run back, you got a track cut. So you had to crawl off the track on hands and knees. Nothing about this is safe. It's not safe at all. I'm so glad we changed that rule because we were becoming more of an obstacle, more of a problem. No one should be crawling around on the ground when we're trying to not have our hands be run over. At this point in 2013, everyone was blocking with flat walls, butts to the jammer to not let any legal target zones be exposed. Nowadays, you block whichever way you are best at blocking. It's still really, really, really good if you can get a butt on the jammer, if you are really good at your plow stops and your ways of stopping your forward momentum. But now you see a lot more shapes. You see players getting together in tripods or some sort of a revolving square, circle, trapezoid, rhombus. Killinois is described as a new skater to the team this season. So Killinois had not been on Windy City very long, but Killinois still skates for Windy City now. Look at the pack. They're just still moving. They're going so fast, and so jammers had to be extraordinarily fast because every skater could skate decently fast, and jammers had to skate faster than all of them to score the points. And you just figured, well, to stay in front of the jammer, I just have to keep moving in front of the jammer, and if the other team comes with me, we have the pack. And so this was a legitimate strategy, and you would just keep going this way. Oh God, I can't even watch that. Oh.
Attention, as we saw on our screen,
Oof.
tries to make a move on the outside. It looks like it was just
Ooh, jam got called off, but took that really high.
I believe caught with the elbow guard right to the face of Vanessa.
Yikes. So now Windy City has pulled ahead, 84 to 107. This is a lot more where people expected the game to be, I think. I think they expected Windy City to have a lead and to keep the lead throughout the game. The Sargentina was expelled really early in the game, captain for the team. This had an impact on the blocking for sure. Vanessa Seitz is just a beast, man. So strong. So they end up having a 9-point game at halftime. And at halftime, the announcers talk about there being 21 penalties for Windy City, 15 for Philly. And the night before, v-diva had actually had 6 penalties playing against Texas, and only 1 in the first half of this game, which was very significant and helpful.
And she's doing that right there. She comes out front.
Nice juke. You see how that juke just split those blockers up as they were trying to figure out which direction Vanessa Seitz was going to go? Oh, you can see on the bench there, Jackie Daniels, member of Windy City for a long time at this point. She's got her foot in a boot. She has an injury. She is not playing in this game. She is wearing the A and actually going to the middle for official reviews and whatnot. That's going to be significant in the second game. So we've got less than 7 minutes left in the game, and Teflon Donna has stepped onto the jammer line. Teflon Donna has been blocking the entire game, but she has been called upon to jam plenty in her career. She's definitely a triple threat and somebody that Philly counts on to be there in really big moments to have a big impact.
They are forced to let her go, and she is lead jammer for Philly.
She's got Bork to get around a task I hope to never have to encounter. Teflon Donna realizing she's not going to be able to make it, so at the very least, all she can do is stop the clock, make sure.
4 minutes left. We've got Ying of Fire and v-diva. The score is 146 to 164. What could happen? Anything could happen. v-diva and Ying of Fire get out at practically the same time.
It looks like a forearm sending Vanessa Seitz.
But it's a forearm for Vanessa Seitz. No! Big opportunity for Ying of Fire. And what's she going to do with it? Gonna skate around them and score some points. The Windy City's going to continue to build their lead. Philly is down. They've only got 2 blockers.
You have to push with every bit of energy that you still have, and that is what
doing a good job with lateral movement, breaking up the blockers. See, what's the person up front supposed to do? Like, that's really the best effort at the time is what you see Tarantula doing.
pushing the boundaries of 20 feet, is able to make sure she does not get out.
And got back just in time.
For Ying of Fire to ram her head into the backside.
You see that? Perfect timing. Tarantula arrives just in time for Ying of Fire, who thinks she's going through a perfect opening, and instead just kind of crashes headfirst into that wall. And she gets the leading with the head, blocking with the head penalty.
Left to go.
So we've got the jammer switch.
Have enough time to make a dent in the 28 points and enough to get back into position.
Well, those 2 timeouts that both of these teams have, I think, is going to be the key. If they can strategically use those timeouts, then my answer is yes.
Well, especially considering that was, unfortunately for Philly, her initial
Oh,
pass,
wow.
not a scoring pass,
Just the tiniest bit of space there on the inside line.
there. Now, if she stays everything legally, they will be able to start the next jam in a power jam. They won't have a lot of time to do much with it, but it may be advantage that
These 1-minute penalties were absolutely killer. You could do so much damage with them. All right, 38 seconds left in this game. The score is 161 Philly, 174 Windy City. Both teams are putting out their jammers who have performed best in this game, Vanessa Seitz and Ying of Fire. These are very, very trusted players for their teams. Windy City used to do this a lot. This was their way of like being like, Windy City! This was the Windy City power pose.
She was called on a cutting penalty. She can be penalized.
Oh, so close to getting the inside line. She has to go back.
she cannot risk.
Ying of Fire is lead.
Jam goes to Windy City.
What's going to happen to Philly? All right, so Ying of Fire makes a decision here. She's like, I'm going to hang back. I'm not going to engage. This is fine. Then she engages and promptly gets that traitorous back block.
But now that is a back block sending Ying of Fire to the penalty box. What a turn of events, man.
Now it's completely up to v-diva, and she is jamming so carefully.
That she had to.
This is an opportunity. 166 to 174 now. She could make up the difference. She's got a minute to go. No one is helping her. No one is helping her. Everyone is watching her jam. Yeah, Diva, you're so great. Go on, v-diva. Jam all by yourself.
Getting called on clockwise.
She's like, I don't want a penalty.
Another stop blocking penalty.
Well, at least she managed to draw a penalty on a blocker from the other team. Look at how desperately they're trying to block her now.
Skating through that 2-wall.
Picking up 5. That is now
The crowd is going wild. 171 to 174. Will Philly win their first game at ECDX?
Maybe get some points, but she is going to have to go.
Now the score is 176 to 174. 17 seconds left. Ying of Fire is being released from the penalty box. Ying of Fire is eligible to be scoring points right now.
She can risk resting on that 2 points. She has got to move forward, particularly as remember, Ying of
What
Fire
is going to happen?
points that she can put up on the board. And with the 0 clock, we have to wait and see where we will end up. It looks like 2 points for Windy City. 0 points. That is a tie. That is a tie. 176. 176.
176, 176. So you know what that means? We are going into an overtime jam. If you've never seen an overtime jam before, here are the rules. It will go the full 2 minutes. There will be no lead jammer. The jammers will begin scoring immediately. Every person that they pass on the other team counts as a point. It's an endurance drill. It's a supercharged endurance drill. Philly has elected Teflon Donna as the jammer for the overtime jam. This is a very good decision. Teflon Donna has a lot of jamming experience. She has been in these situations before. She has been counted upon to win derby games. Ying of Fire is back. Now, granted, she did just cool her heels in the penalty box for a while. She had a break between jams. She had her penalty time. She could be good to go. But technically, she's been the jammer for the last 2 jams, and this will be the 3rd jam in a row. And yet, Windy City says, Ying of Fire, you are the one. You are the one we trust. Go out and jam.
That's right there.
Overtime jams are so rare. You almost never see them.
They said, Ying of Fire, you got us here. Why don't you finish it out?
Now,
It's like a unicorn. It's almost mythical.
3 of the blockers in
Ying of Fire does her power pose.
penalty.
The only way to win.
Moby Nips, Bork, Bork, Bork. Yvette your maker.
Windy City has 2 blockers. They believe in Ying of Fire. They believe Windy City can still win this game. Windy wants to beat Philly for the first time ever. Philly wants to win their first game at ECDX. The tension is so real.
It'll be a factor. We only have 1 in the box right now, and that is Shanita Stretcher for Philly. We will see. There was a quick multiplayer block being initiated, and who will be sent out for that, not quite sure. That is Vanessa Seitz, going to make it a little bit more even on the track.
We got a question. Did jammers get not on the track points for players in the penalty box back then? Yes. Yes, you got points for players in the box.
Gingivitis trying to work on that wall. There is a cue. It looks like there is a penalty cue, which is not good news.
Oh no, Bork, 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 what you do?
Call for Bork, Bork, Bork.
Bork, Bork, Bork actually gets her last penalty and fouls out during the overtime jam.
5 points.
So Windy is now down 1 player for the rest of the game.
5 seconds in. Problem though, Teflon Donna is only at 4 points and a half track behind the pack, which is thin. And we'll
So right now, Teflon Donna is actually behind. Ying of Fire is a pass ahead right now.
Knock you out. Sorry. She
But see how much work this one player is doing? And it kept Ying of Fire in the pack. That one player hanging out with her butt in front of Ying of Fire kept her in the pack.
but she is playing safe. She realizes that she cannot risk any.
Teflon Donna is so tired. She falls there and oh, look at that wonderful whip from a teammate.
180 for
You don't see those every day anymore, especially those lovely backwards whips. It just feels so fancy and beautiful.
and a brilliant knockdown by Seitz right there. And I
Now you see v-diva is the pivot here in this jam. She's ready just in case Teflon Donna needs help, and Vanessa Seitz is an excellent blocker.
her way against that 2-wall. They just
Taking out Ying of Fire made a big impact on that pass. Ying of Fire was in that pass forever.
we have got
Now Philly is ahead.
9. Windy
Nope.
City,
Now they both have the same exact amount of points.
they have time. Will we go to double overtime? Wait, 1 point.
That last surge at the end got Teflon Donna 1 more point.
This is historic.
Clearly one of her blockers helped make somebody hang back long enough for her to skate past them.
Since 2010.
And this is why when somebody tells you that there's only a few seconds left, you run. You run. You don't know how valuable that space might be. You just sprint and hope and pray that you got it. She got it. 1 point. This is not the first time that Teflon Donna has won a game by 1 point for her team by jamming. But this was incredibly significant. So Philly gets this big win. Philly gets their first win at ECDX. It's incredible. It's emotional.
Of course,
Windy City, who was supposed to win this game, does not win.
coach in there for Windy City.
They're down a few players. One of them getting fouled out. One of them's injured and on the bench, Jackie Daniels.
Of the track. She is not
They actually even tried to go talk to the middle and attempt to dispute the outcome of the game. And the referees just leave the track as quickly as possible. I want to show you the other game now. So this is the setup. This was the first game. Let's go look at that other game, the Champs game. Philly comes out with the early lead here at Champs.
not winning the stroke because
Everyone was so excited about this game. This was the last game of the night on a day where there were so many teams that were playing really, really, really close games. And we knew the last time these two teams had faced off had been a 1-point game. This was going to be epic. Jackie Daniels was back from injury, playing for Windy City again. Also, Windy City had picked up an exciting new transfer skater by the name of Sandrine Ranjan, who I showed you last week had that mega giant jam playing for Denver.
So Varla Vendetta comes into no surprise. They stop pack as Windy City's in the back playing a very passive offense. Varla's pushing.
So at this point, we've got the score 57-24. 26 of the points belong to v-diva already in this game. And Sargentina, the skater for Windy City, who got kicked out of the game early at ECDX, already got 3 penalties in the first 10 minutes. It's not a great start. Windy City has to overcome a lot of mental stuff in this game because they've never beaten Philly, even though they should be beating Philly this year.
Signal from the bench saying, Varla, keep going, it's working.
Big hit there. Ooh, me? Yeah, I guess I gotta go to the box now.
Just going to the penalty box for it. Another out of play at another 5-point grand slam.
So Varla Vendetta gets this big power jam, but the Philly jammer tried to leave the box early, and when you do that, you get another penalty. So she's going to be sitting for another minute. The score is going up. The power jam helps. Windy City's going to get the game really, really close again. The penalties are going to switch. Philly is going to take over again. Philly, 93-62. This was pretty huge. So the Philly jammer is lead, but gets a penalty. So now Varla Vendetta gets a big power jam. Varla Vendetta is going to score 29 points. By the end of this jam, it's going to be 96-91 Philly because Varla can't call the jam off. I miss watching Varla Vendetta play because one of the things I really love best about her was she's always smiling while she plays. No matter what's going on, if someone's knocking her down, just always like a smile, just happy to be playing roller derby. Yep, 5-point game, but Philly is still ahead. And that's despite Windy City having a lot more jammers to use. I believe by the end of the game, Windy City uses 6 different players to jam, and I think Philly only uses 4.
Ranjan jamming for Windy City. v-diva is the lead jammer for Philly. Ranjan able to get out. She's about a quarter of a lap behind a very fast-moving v-diva, Bam.
Well, look at the pack. It's a runaway. You cannot give any...
Okay, watch this moment. This is an amazing moment that I love so much. v-diva gets the dip on the outside. Sandrine Ranjan with the apex jump. v-diva says, goose egg, you get nothing. Nothing. Just so you know, you didn't score any points. Watch this replay. Dip.
v-diva on the outside ducks under Jackie Daniels. A rarity in itself.
Boom to the skies.
Apex jump by Ranjan.
You lose. Forlorn look from Sandrine Ranjan. Small tear.
Ying of Fire. And Ying of Fire's up. She's out. She is lead jammer. First time in a while.
Ying of Fire was so amazing to watch. Doesn't play anymore, but just a real inspiration as far as grit goes. This player got things done just by wanting it more than everybody else.
So the first time in
Very, very driven.
has gotten lead jammer. Ying of Fire needs to make some hay with this. Works her way up and around and calls it off.
Just very inspiring to watch. So right now, this game is just as incredible as anybody expected it to be. Very close. Very close throughout the game. Now, v-diva and Sandrine Ranjan were just out there like a couple jams ago, so now they're kind of matching. I'm not sure at what point the matching starts. Like, clearly one team is matching to this jammer. They want to see this combination of players to try and remove the threat that each of them has. Wow, look at those laterals. Unfortunately, v-diva gets a penalty, so Sandrine Ranjan is just going to go for it now. She's been having kind of a quiet start to the game. She's been against powerful players. She hasn't gotten a lot of leads. She hasn't gotten a lot of points so far in the game. But Windy City still has a lot of trust for her because they know her background, they know her skill, they know her experience level. And that's going to come in handy because although she didn't do much in the first half, they're going to turn to her a lot in the second half to take on a lot of really important jams and the bulk of the load. Now, this is the first time that Windy City has taken the lead in this game because of that jam from Sandrine Ranjan where she got 15 points. Philly has decided to call the timeout with v-diva in the box. It's a pretty smart play. Now, the reason Philly is calling the timeout with their own jammer in the box is because they don't want to come into the second half with a power start for Philly. That's too much power. That's too much optimism in the locker room for what's going to happen in the second half. They want her out of there. So they want a little bit more time. They want to get her out. Now, if Windy City wanted, they could call it off right now and still have v-diva in the box for the next half. They decide they'd rather have points.
And I like this move from v-diva. She does not come backward around the outside to get behind.
And Illinois calls it off. That was the initial pass for v-diva.
That was a weird choice. That was the initial pass for v-diva. They could have gotten more points, and they did not. In the second half, you're going to continue to see a lot of Sandrine Ranjan versus v-diva. We actually have Ying of Fire versus v-diva here. They've both been crushing it all game. v-diva is lead.
Interesting when you see Vanessa Sykes twice as many times has been lead. Looks like
Cut track on Ying of Fire.
Cut track on Ying of Fire, but v-diva manages to stick that. Gets past everybody. Now a back block for v-diva. Oh my gosh. Now watch what happens here. This is where it gets really silly. v-diva's going to the box. Ying of Fire's like, I can go play the derby now. I will go play derby. She makes a crucial error for a very small rule where she entered... She accidentally entered the engagement zone. The engagement zone is this space in front of the pack. And if you go in there, what happens? You actually cut everybody. And it's kind of a track cut, but it's an illegal procedure if you enter that way. So you have to come in behind everybody. And her idea was, I'm going to skate on the track and come around with all this momentum. It's going to be great. It does not work out that way because she accidentally entered the track too close to the pack. So now they both just stand there like idiots because of rules. And v-diva had to serve like a certain amount of time still. So the blockers just stood there for the rest of that jam. And then the time expired. Now Philly will have a jammer to start this jam. And it is Clam Jammer. It's going to be a power start. Ying of Fire still in the box. Game is still really close. 114 to 118. Somehow all of that didn't go completely to heck. This next jam is going to be another amazing matchup between Sandrine Ranjan and v-diva. We're going to see another big apex jump attempt here. Here we go. Woo! Big attempt. Did not stick landing. No points. And here's where we've decided to bring out Jackie Daniels to jam. Much like Teflon Donna, Jackie Daniels is somebody that Windy City could count upon for jamming. An excellent pivot, triple threat player. If it's on, and this is a game you absolutely have to win, Jackie Daniels is somebody you would bring in as a counted upon player. She's going to handle it. She's going to skate really clean. She's going to get out. 4-point game. Jackie Daniels is jamming. Ba-da-boom.
in this season, she did come back from an injury and she came back in a big way. But we're going to see how she can do that.
Look at that. Just bam, right through.
Scoring run as Antidote trying to get past Ruth in Asia. Solid defense by Windy City, Bam.
Especially when you consider you just have two out there right now, number 85.
Just keep skating. Just keep skating. Windy City is doing an excellent job protecting their lead right now.
Now on her fourth trip to the box.
So Antidote does finally clear the pack, not before. Oh, and a huge hit there by Jackie Daniels. No call by the refs.
All right, so clearly they talked about something at halftime where they decided, okay, we're going to use Sandrine Ranjan a lot more, and we're going to put in Jackie Daniels to jam. Now, one of the reasons that Sandrine Ranjan had kind of a quieter start to this game is because she spent a lot of time juking, and she's used to players really reacting strongly to that and kind of getting out of her way. And wow, what a big hit. Oh my gosh. Oh, apparently it was a murder. It was a murder, so she had to go to the box. But Sandrine Ranjan's moves didn't work early in the game because Philly wasn't falling for it. They decided just not to move. And so now she realized, okay, I have to be more aggressive. I have to be more pushy. And then the jukes will work. She had to get them to all commit to one area, and then she can do the lateral movement. It's one of those things when you're kind of an air jammer and you love no contact the way Sandrine Ranjan does. It's very hard to set up your moves. So if you want to be successful with this kind of jamming style, you have to get people to commit to one area so you can go to another. Slowing down, thinking about it. Really wants that offense, but though it was not open. Now everybody's moving, which is better for her. And it works out. So this is another really big jam for Windy City. v-diva out. Sandrine Ranjan starting to get a little bit tired because of all this extra contact that she's having to take that she does not enjoy so much.
4-point pass for
You can tell from her face.
Interesting to see.
And apparently she got a track cut there.
And now she's going to the penalty box, and that was the question. It was a cut track. I was looking at there wondering
So
why
now
she
she's going to be in the box for the next jam.
And again, very fortuitous.
This is the official timeout now where Windy City attempts to get v-diva expelled for this hit.
Referee's trying to
It's very much to the chest, though. It's not to the head. It's just big. Windy City puts out Athena to crime, then Clam Jammer scores 10 points. The score comes to 145 to 150. And then Philly takes the lead back with a Clam Jammer power jam, 162 to 150 with 13 minutes left in the game. So Sandrine Ranjan and v-diva are matching up once again.
John, number 42.
Ranjan is definitely trying to set up her juki style. They were kind of waiting for her to juke to the inside so that they could get her out. v-diva is out first, but a penalty. This is v-diva's 4th penalty in this game. And there's still like almost 13 minutes left.
Pushing to
Not great.
We've seen her go to the penalty box 3 times, and each time, 4 times, excuse me, it was clean first half, and it just starts to build up.
Oh, look at all this physicality. Sandrine Ranjan is really just kind of coming into her own in this game. She's adapting her jamming style in the game, which is an incredible thing to see a player do. Nice. And that's how you split people up.
And with a nice inside
For her, and what they actually do is
Wow, just went right through the middle.
time she powered her way through.
And that's what happens. As soon as you get used to the idea of contact, then stuff like that will work for you and you'll just fly right through. She's like kind of gone from air to a
stand it is right.
air-fire combination.
John's up in the middle of the pack, not even paying attention.
What do you call that? Like a hot air balloon? It doesn't sound very impressive. But see how the juking is working now.
Off that jam.
And she's like, yeah, did the thing. So Windy City now takes the lead back, 162 to 170. That's a pretty big jam. Philly's the lead again by 1 point. 9 minutes left. Okay, I guess I have to jam again, huh?
Adam Wheel's a proud partner. Wheel of the
Guess you guys need me to jam.
like the fact that she gives up early, and it's effective because she gets out.
Oh, good awareness there. You see, v-diva got lead. Jackie Daniels was close behind and was going to have to go recycle back, but saw that the other player also went out of bounds. She was able to just keep going. Same here. You can just keep going if that player goes out.
Well, they trade 4-point passes.
Very smart. Very good awareness.
Box for a low block, it definitely helped, held her up
Look at that dip.
incredibly low.
Because of this, Jackie Daniels is going to outscore v-diva in this jam. Dang. Woo!
Jammer, but you won that
Lead back for Windy City. Oh my gosh.
low. Just,
This game has just been so close the whole time.
was she gonna run
Nice.
calls it off 4 points.
Jackie Daniels is back out again. You're going to notice Sandrine Ranjan and Jackie Daniels go back to back for the whole rest of the game, starting at like the 10-minute mark-ish. They're the ones that the team trusts in this moment to get the job done.
There's some physics involved there I'm not exactly sure about.
v-diva's attempting to do some defense here off the line because they're a little bit short-handed from blockers.
Defense by the Philly defense holds on to.
Jackie Daniels is out first,
He's out for lead.
but v-diva is out quickly,
Trying to catch up. She gets
even though she had to go over a body.
at a stop. Now starts to pick up speed coming into turn 3. Here comes Jackie Daniels.
12 points being the
Just easily around the outside. Just call it off now.
I think v-diva's got enough hustle to make it work.
Now this gets really interesting because Philly calls an official review because they want to say Jackie Daniels skated out of bounds before she called it off. Now that's something you can get a penalty for because you cannot skate out of bounds to avoid a block. You cannot just skate out of bounds whenever you want to.
Skate of the WF.
She's calling it off. She thinks she's good, but they're going to discuss it for a bit. So this was a big deal. They have this whole conversation about it, and they ultimately decide, nah, she didn't do that. It's fine. v-diva versus Jackie Daniels. They've had a long break. They're ready to jam again. This is fine.
Forced out of bounds. She comes back behind. Moby nips. And a track cut.
A track cut for v-diva. No!
Jackie Daniels.
Jackie Daniels is going to be very careful.
She should be doing right now.
And
Except she gets a track cut too. Did not see that last player go back.
is Jackie Daniels.
That is the second time.
Both sit down. But now nobody can call off the jam. It's definitely going the full 2 minutes because there's no lead jammer. If you had lead when you got a penalty, then you would lose the ability to call it off. See, no one wants to block Jackie Daniels, so v-diva's going to do it.
Twice as many points as anybody else on her team. You can see how she has been going full bore.
Jackie Daniels is just like, when is this done? I don't normally jam the whole game. She is so tired, but her job is just to skate clean and stay on her feet now. This game had been incredibly close the whole time. Now Windy City has a 30-point lead. 2.5 minutes to go. Sandrine Ranjon's out there. She's like, I'm on Windy City now. I know this is what we do. This is what we do, right? She's like checking with Ying of Fire. Is this how we flex? Like, she's actually a little bit high. She's doing more of an I than a W. She needs to work on her cactus arms to truly get the taunt. You gotta stretch out your shoulders. But look at the juke, 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 juke. Except every time she wants to take the inside line, Philly knows and they put her out of bounds. And then she just has to rely on her ability to get back in so quickly that it doesn't matter.
Almost gets out, but forced out of bounds again, comes in behind Sargentina.
Some nice one-on-one blocking there at the front.
A 5-point grand slam for
Very easy pass there for Sandrine Ranjon now because Philly is low in the pack right now with bodies. Just split right between the two of them. Phenomenal.
Sargentina and Moby nips him clock. Ranjon now on another scoring run, checks and sees where
Oh, look at that. Oh, you see that nice little turnaround at the end to get that last point? Oh, yeah, she's feeling it. She's feeling pretty good. Okay, this last jam is amazing. 174 to 216. Windy City doesn't really have to do anything. Jackie Daniels' job is to get lead and chill. That's her job. That's all Ying of Fire had to do in the last game, right? Get lead and chill. Let's see what happens. Can she chill? Because she needs to get the time off the period clock, and then she can call it off, and they will have won the game, and they will advance to the next round. She's like, okay, I'm just going to stay right here. Problem is, she gets too close to the blockers. She could just hang out behind them and not be touched, but she decides to engage very casually. This is very, very casual jamming. Look how hard she's trying. She's just like, jamming. This is kind of like me at practice when we're doing a drill where I'm not supposed to try. Jamming. Here we go. I'm jamming. Look at me jamming. I don't care anymore. Whatever. Fine. Is the game over? She skated out of bounds and then tried to call it off. We just had that big official review that was all about you skating out of bounds and calling off the jam at the same time. Why, Jackie Daniels? Why you do this? You're giving Philly hope. I know you're ahead by a lot, but this is bananas. So now this Philly jammer is gonna try her darndest. But there's only like 25 seconds left now. She's not going to be able to make up the difference. In fact, she appears to have gotten a penalty herself. It's over for Philly, but I'll never forget the ending of this game just because we just talked about this, Jackie Daniels. They just spent so much time in the middle debating whether you skated out of bounds and then called it off. And then you just did that. And she's back there like, I don't care anymore. I just don't care. She's so wonderful, though. It's so funny that this happened at all. So, finally, epic. Windy City beats Philly for the first time ever. And commandingly so, 221 to 174. This is what everyone expected to happen, especially since Jackie Daniels was back and Sandrine Ranjon had been transferred in. Windy was in a position of power, rankings-wise and experience-wise on their team. It took them until the very end of the game. I mean, you saw how close the score was. They only got those points in the last few jams, really. And so they advanced. They didn't go any further after this. I think they lost to the next team that they played, but it was a really epic moment. This was a big win for them, and it was really fun to watch and relive. This was the first champs I ever went to. I'm in the stands somewhere. It was so exciting to see high-level derby up close for the first time, live and in person. If you haven't done it, I highly recommend it when all this is over. If you can get to a major tournament and see high-level play up close, it is awe-inspiring. At whatever level you're at, it just makes you want to get out there tomorrow and just start drilling basics, drilling fancy things, just drilling, just putting in extra work yourself, doing off skates. Seeing people be awesome makes you want to go be more awesome.